These artists are their own worst enemies. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 musicians who destroyed their careers on stage. For this list, we'll be looking at artists who sabotaged their careers on stage with bad performances, controversial statements, live meltdowns, and so on. We're including artists who eventually made a comeback as long as their careers faced significant setbacks. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10. Robin Thicke. Following the release of his 2015 single Blurred Lines, Robin Thicke's career took off, crashed, and burned, all within a short span of time. The song itself was part of Thicke's problem, with many critics arguing that the lyrics are misogynistic and trivialize consent. However, it was Thicke's live performances in the months that followed that truly sank his career. Thicke performed an outrageously vulgar and unanimously loathed live rendition of Blurred Lines at the VMAs with Miley Cyrus. Soon after, Thicke's wife, Paula Patton, left him. In response, he begged her to take him back in subsequent live performances, and even released an album called Paula. This only turned even more people off the falling star. Pretty cringe, Robin. Number 9. Eric Clapton. One of the most prolific rock musicians of all time, Eric Clapton is famous for his role in bringing the blues to Britain. Still, you'd expect that someone with such fondness for blues music would have a better grasp of its history.
And to me, it sounded like they were in a fantasy land. I mean, to me, see, for you, perhaps, Ed, the plantations and the cotton fields would have been a place of abject misery and hardship. For me, it was paradise.
In 1976, during a concert in Birmingham, Clapton launched into a crass and hateful rant involving various racial slurs, said that all foreigners should leave England, encouraged people to vote for a far-right politician, and used the slogan, "Keep Britain White."
Possibly the worst moment was the ride home on the bus, in the top deck of the bus with my friend, because we couldn't really talk about it. It was something had come between our friendship, and actually the friendship never recovered, to tell you the truth.
This concert immediately sparked outrage throughout England, with many artists denouncing Clapton and inspiring the Rock Against Racism movement.
Own up, half your music is black. You're rock music's biggest colonialist. You're a good musician, but where would you be without the blues and R&B? You've got to fight the racist poison, otherwise you degenerate into the sewer with the rats and all the money men that ripped off rock culture.
Number 8. Sly Stone. Vocalist Sly Stone was the frontman of one of the most well-regarded funk acts of the 60s.
Don't hate the black, don't hate the white. If you get bitten, just hate the bite.
However, the careers of Sly and his band, the Family Stone, imploded quickly in the mid-70s. The group became notorious for ruining live performances with members not showing, refusing to play, or passing out from drug abuse. While this already added a bittersweet taste to Sly's legacy, the vocalist dealt his career a death blow while performing solo at Coachella in 2010. Sporting a strange blonde wig and clearly not in any mental state to perform, Sly performed a feeble and cheerless set with subpar vocal work and incoherent ranting. Regrettable, considering that this performance was intended to mark Sly's comeback.
Wait. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Would you mind, please, being very quiet? Shut up!
Number 7. Janet Jackson. This one is just unfortunate.
Janet says that this is going to be the first and the last time that she ever talks about what happened that day.
At the 2004 Super Bowl, musical guest Janet Jackson experienced what was later described as a wardrobe malfunction. At the end of their performance together, Justin Timberlake tore off Jackson's rubber bustier, briefly exposing her breast to millions of stunned audiences.
He was to take and rip the piece off that he did.
The leather piece.
Right, but more came off than what was supposed to.
So he was supposed to pull that off and we just see the red there. And he ripped the whole thing.
Yes.
So he knew.
While this finale was planned, Jackson's representative claimed it was supposed to expose her red lacy bra, not her breast. Dubbed Nipplegate, the incident prompted a proposed $550,000 fine by the Federal Communications Commission, had MTV banned from producing future halftime shows, and caused Jackson's music and videos to be blacklisted by television and radio stations, effectively ending her career. Number 6. Michelle Shocked. Michelle Shocked was never a huge star by any stretch, but the alt-folk singer had a decently sized following up until an infamous 2013 concert in San Francisco. True to her name, concert-goers were shocked when the singer made clear her feelings towards Proposition 8, the banning of same-sex marriage in California.
Alternative folk singer Michelle Shocked is speaking out about her anti-gay rant over the weekend in San Francisco. The tirade got her booted off the stage, and ever since, venues all over the country have been canceling her upcoming shows.
Shocked expressed her belief that marriage is only legitimate between a man and a woman, and though she maintained that she was not homophobic, many were unconvinced.
That the idea of living my life without him is impossible.
Right.
I know how much I love him, and knowing that passion that I have for him, would I ever want to deny that to anyone else? Absolutely not.
So you're not homophobic?
If you want to keep this simple for the audience, let me just give you a straight no, I'm not homophobic.
Shocked's career quickly fizzled out following these comments. Why Shocked thought that this would fly in San Francisco of all places is anyone's guess.
Quote, I do not, nor have I ever said or believed that God hates homosexuals or anyone else. I said that some of his followers believe that. I believe intolerance comes from fear, and these folks are genuinely scared.
Number 5, the Everly Brothers. Brotherly love. Country pop legends the Everly Brothers were fundamental to the history of American music, with dozens of hits throughout the 50s and 60s. Sadly, the years were not kind to brothers Don and Phil, whose careers slowly declined up until one fateful night in 1973. When Don showed up to play the duo set at Buena Park, California, Phil was furious to find out that his brother was completely drunk. After a booking agent had to stop the show due to Don's condition, Phil smashed his guitar and stormed off stage, while Don proclaimed, "I'm through with being an Everly brother."
And halfway through the third song, Don's voice just quit. And that was it. And Phil took that Everly Brothers guitar, and it's almost like he went up on his tiptoes and had that guitar up like that and popped her on the floor, and that guitar exploded.
They wouldn't reunite for another 10 years.
We'd never, ever been away from each other. We'd been working together, we'd been strapped together, singing on one microphone for 20 years then. That's a long time for two young guys to be pushed together and held together. And, you know, you gotta find yourself and go do other things and your own identity.
Number 4, the Chicks, formerly Dixie Chicks.
I was just sort of pointing out we're American and we're even from Texas and we don't agree with the president.
During a 2003 concert in England, the vocalist of the Chicks, then known as the Dixie Chicks, Natalie Maines, denounced the US's invasion of Iraq and lamented that President Bush was from their home state of Texas. This went over fine in England, but triggered a major controversy in the US, where many felt that these comments were anti-American.
At the time, it wasn't thought about necessarily what I meant. You know, whatever I say on stage always does have some meaning, but looking back on it, you know, everyone called me unpatriotic and said I didn't support the troops because I didn't support the war.
Celebrities and fellow musicians slammed the group, people burned their records, and some radio and television stations boycotted their music.
The sad things came, you know, just down the road, watching children at those rallies, stomping on our CDs, or there was a mother holding her 2-year-old son outside of a show protesting and turned to and was telling our camera, screw him, screw him.
For years, this controversy was a major obstacle for the Chicks' career, though it seems that the group have begun to make a well-deserved comeback, even changing their name in 2020 due to its historic connotations. Number 3, Sinead OConnor. Clarity is key when you're making a point.
And how the media, in fact, are engaging in massive breaches of human rights when it comes to how they go about writing about anyone who they either diagnose without qualification as being mental, or anyone they believe to be, you know, actually suffering from an illness.
Just ask a late 80s icon, Sinead OConnor. At the end of her infamous 1992 performance on Saturday Night Live, O'Connor ripped up a photo of Pope John Paul II and declared "Fight the real enemy" in protest of the Catholic Church.
Of good over evil. Fight the real enemy.
While the act was O'Connor's response to various stories that had just come to light about corruption and misconduct within the institution, many viewers misinterpreted her call to action. It was seen as an anti-Catholic sentiment, and the backlash was brutal, with O'Connor's record sales in the US suffering considerably.
That was all I ever did on planet Earth. That's what I'd be happy. I think it was a really important artistic, and people often forget the song it accompanied, you know. But
O'Connor continued to make music and perform, but her career has never fully recovered. Number 2, Ashlee Simpson. Another SNL mishap, though infamous for very different reasons. In 2004, Ashlee Simpson was making a name for herself with a couple of big hits on the radio until it all came crashing down during one calamitous performance. During Simpson's second song of the night, it was revealed that the singer had lip-synced her previous performance when the incorrect vocal track was played over the monitors without Simpson mouthing along.
Once again, Ashlee Simpson.
Unsure of how to react, a visibly shaken Simpson attempted to cut the tension by awkwardly dancing around until the show cut to commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, what can I say? Live TV.
Exactly. I feel so bad my band started playing the wrong song, and I know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown. I'm sorry.
Ashlee Simpson!
While it's doubtful that Simpson's career would have set the world ablaze, this incident certainly removed all doubt moving forward, with media outlets mercilessly vilifying and mocking the young artist.
You talk about how heavily that affected you and how...
You know, it did, because I was such a young girl, and that was like, you know, heavy, but for me, it made me stronger, and, you know, it happens.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable, or in this case, dishonorable mentions. Lindsay Lohan, caught lip-syncing to a vocal track on Good Morning America in 2004. Green Day, singer Billie Joe Armstrong's Meltdown and at iHeartRadio Music Festival in 2012. Guns N' Roses, terrible live performances dating back to 1991. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Milli Vanilli.
Here are 2 former world-class breakdancers nominated for Grammys who have become huge international stars with record sales in the millions. Well, girl, you know it's true. It can only mean Milli Vanilli.
Perhaps the most notable lip-syncing scandal of all time, German-French R&B duo Milli Vanilli shocked the world when the recording of their vocal tracks skipped during a 1989 MTV Live performance.
I wanted to die. It stopped. Girl, you know it's girl, you know it's girl. 80,000 people. Girl, you know it's girl, you know. You know, I couldn't repeat it 15 times. Girl, it got obvious. So I stopped, I panicked, I ran off stage.
Already a bad look for the duo, things only got worse for them as this incident led to the revelation that all of the vocals for all of their live shows and albums were performed by other people. The group were subsequently torn to pieces by the media and former fans, compelling Milli Vanilli to return the Grammy that they'd won that same year.
Phone calls, enormous rumors that you don't sing on the record. You have to lip sync in front of 500 million people. Right, if you don't lip sync right, it's like oil on a fire. So we freaked out. Who told you this?
The record company and the producer.
About their live performance, singer Rob Pilatus would later state, quote, "I knew right then and there it was the beginning of the end for Milli Vanilli." Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.